Mesachta bava basra daf mem hey amud aleph. We're starting from 10 lines in the bottom. Amar Papa. Yesterday we were learning that how is it we should be afraid even by metaltalin that he's a negay bedava, that because he always could have been mocked in the metaltalin together with the karka. So then the Gemara said that it's talking about over here that he never had karka. Perfect. He never had karka. So the Gemara says maybe for the future he was makna, whatever, that he'll buy in he'll lend in the future, and the karka that he'll buy in the future, the metaltalin should be kind of with that. So, and we said we're not concerned, so we should be patient here. So you want to know, we're talking about that this guy never had karka at all. That's how we learn.
So what do you do? So what do you give it to him?
He never had karka, so you don't, by metaltalin, he's not in a negay bedava. You don't have to worry if you're talking. If we know that he never had karka, there's no way that the malva, the person who he borrowed money from, will be able to collect from the metaltalin that he sold to another person, because there was no shibud. We wanted to say the shibud would be with the metaltalin nagav karka, but he never had karka. In fact, the Gemara, but Amar Papa afal gav the Amar Abana. Amar Papa is here, 10 lines on the bottom. Mam Dalad Amad Beis. Okay, but Amar Papa. For Gemara, Papa had said afal gav the Amar Abana meiches sad lechavelish leba achrayis. One who sells a field without responsibilities. Ubaba chevu trafa, and Amalchev came and he collected it. He took it away. The kaina, the buyer, cannot come now to the meicha, because the meicha said, "What do you want from me? I told you do your due diligence. I take no responsibilities. If the field gets taken away, it's too bad for you." But if nimtzei sheina shaloi, at the end there was mizbar that the sada was never even his. He had to sell it. He had no right even to sell it. He's a gazlan, yes. So Chayze Allah says the Gemara in such a case that we know that the kaina could come back to him. Even though the Balchev took it away, but he had no rights even to the sada.
That wasn't his.
Right, it was never his. In such a case, if it was never his, he's still going to be responsible. How could you say he's not in the negay bedava? He can't testify on a sada that it was gzula, and he wants it should stay by the koina. Right? Why is he in the negay bedava? Because if it was never his, the koina could come for reimbursement. Give me back my money. So he's in the negay bedava to testify that it belongs to the koina. So how could you say that he could? How could you say that he could testify? So the Baal Chai couldn't take it away. He couldn't take it away. Even by, I'm talking about now. We're talking about by metaltalin. Even by metaltalin, if he sold metaltalin, that was never mamish stolen. So in that case, he can come back. The one who bought it, the kohen, can come back to the meicha. How could you allow the meicha to testify that it belongs to the kohen? He's a negay bedava, even though there was no metaltalin lo nishtabdi. But if he does he gazel, so legitimately, or the original owner came and grabbed it away from him, and so he wants to fight and tell the kohen, "I'm the owner, and you're the real buyer." How can we trust him? Because he has an atiyah. He doesn't want the kohen to come back for reimbursements. So the Yibana here is talking about the makabah bas chamayri. That we know, he himself, the kohen, when he bought it, he knew that it was born from one of his chamerim in his field, from this buyer's field, from this seller.
But he didn't know it was stolen.
No, it wasn't stolen. So he knows it's not stolen. He knows that the one that is confiscating the chamerim from him is a liar. So he has no right. The third guy's a liar. He has no right to go back to the meicha. So the meicha is not a negay bedava here.
The meicha is not a gazlan.
He's not a gazlan. The meicha is not a gazlan. Then the kohen has no right to go to the meicha, even though a gazlan stole it.
What's the kasha? What's the tenet?
So that's the Gemara. No, so you said by metaltalin he's not a negay bedava. What do you mean? Even though by metaltalin there's no guarantees, it's not meshumah. But if he's a gazlan, he is a negay bedava, because If it was never his field, the kohen can come back and say, "Give me back my money. It was never yours to sell." So the Gemara is saying that's not the case. The case he wasn't a gazlan. The kohen knew for a fact that it was born in the Meicha's field. This chamer that he bought. So it's the third guy is the gazlan. If he's taking it away, okay. So he's nishkin the gebedov. He's allowed to testify because the kohen knows the truth, and there's nothing wrong with the Meicha testifying for the kohen. The kohen knows the truth. The kohen knows he's not coming back to the Meicha, and the Meicha knows that too. So the Meicha is not a negabed of it because he's not going to lose any money by testifying. But by if he gets confiscated from the kohen, because the kohen knows he can't come back to him, and the Meicha knows he's not coming back because it was a legitimate sale. So he's allowed to testify. He's not a negabed of it. Says, but and Rav Zvid even answers differently. Rav Zvid, even if he was a gazlan and he sold something that's not his, he sold him the Brooklyn Bridge. He cannot come back to him. Okay, he sold him something that's not his, a chamer that's not his. He can't come back to him. Because I sold you, but let's talk about a field, let's say. I sold it to you, here he's saying the field. When I sold you this field, I sold you this bridge, I didn't take responsibility. It was never mine, you still can't collect. That was before Takonos HaGeinim. After Takonos HaGeinim, I think you could collect. Okay, Zag the Gemara Gufa Memfri Yeland. Omar Rabban Bar Shmuel, Mishmei de Shmuel. Rabban Bar Shmuel said in the name of Shmuel, Ameicha Sad L'Chaveri Shaloi Ba'achroyes. One who sells a field to his friend, Shaloi Ba'achroyes, and then Eirin came and said, hey, it's my field, the Eirin came. Outsiders came and said, it belongs to us. Or it belongs to me, an outsider came. The Meicha who sold it to him cannot testify for the kohen that it was a real sale. Why? Even though he doesn't have to replace it when it gets taken away from the kohen of the sada, because he sold it shaloi b'achrayas. But nevertheless, we say he's in the Gevadav because the Balchev, his Balchev, could come and collect from the kohen. He owes money to a Malva, so now the Malva will be able to. The Meicha owes money to a Malva, so now the Malva will have from where to collect from. What is the case talking about? If the Meicha has other karka, he has to go to the Meicha. He cannot go straight to the kohen. And even if the Meicha has Ziburius and the Balchev collects Mibedanis, he still has to go to him, to the Meicha, and collect the Ziburius, and he cannot go to the kohen who has, let's say, Bedanis. Yeah. And either Leslie Arachriti, and if he doesn't have other land, my nafkalamine, what does he care? What does he care? If he doesn't have any other land, he can't collect from him. Why should he care? So he's not in the Gebedava. Really, he doesn't have any other land. Here's the market to it. He says, you're right. I have nothing to lose. I have no money for him to collect. So therefore, what's the reason he's in the Gebedava? Because he says, I don't want to be part of these people who are called Leva Russia.
He's not really a Meicha here, right?
No, he's a Meicha, but a Leva Russia mitzad. The Malva, he owes the Malva money. And he doesn't want to, he wants the Malva to have where to collect from, so he's no more Leva Russia. The buyer is losing it. The buyer doesn't care for it. I took no responsibility. He should have done his due diligence.
He cares for his mouth.
He cares for his mouth.
In case he has to borrow another.
Right.
So he has good relations with him.
Right.
So then he's going to pay him at the end.
Huh?
At the end, you're going to pay him because
The Malva will be able to collect from the kohen. That's why the Moichi cannot testify. He's in the Gebedava. Because he wants to say it's a real sale. It's his field. And the Malva, who he owes money to, can now collect, and he's no more Levi Russia. Because he'll collect that field. Others ask, L'cheira, he's still on the Gebedava. Save Legabe Idach Nami. Save Legabe the Negea to the kohen. He's the L'cheira called a Russia. Because the kohen is losing the field, the Meicha sold to him. And the Gemara, he's also a Leiber Rasha. Legabe the Koina, who the field is being confiscated
Also,
from.
that's that.
And then they follow the
So,
same thing.
so the Amma, he can answer. The Mechi can say, no, loch is a loch. This is how I sold it to you. Shaloi b'achrayis, without any responsibilities. You should have never bought it. You should have done your due diligence. Maybe you relied on that because I have other karka, you bought it. Okay, but that's your the
He
luck.
wants to have a good
You-
relation and good credit with with the Malvas, so he wants to rather have a good relation with the Malva, and he doesn't care about the
He
Koina.
doesn't. He has nothing to care about the
I don't do
koina.
business with you anymore.
Okay, but not only that, the koina. He told him to finish. He told him, I'm not taking responsibility.
He spoke out first.
Yeah, he told him. He
So
says, if a malva might come to you, I have now property. I can't guarantee you that I'll have it then. I'm selling all my properties. But this property is the first property I sold, and if
because
he
the guy
comes,
never came to me and complained. So maybe,
right, he thinks maybe he's not gonna pay his
died,
chayv.
if he died.
Or maybe the meicha will pay up. He thinks in his head. Maybe he bought it. He made his cheshbonos, but the buyer was notified, no responsibilities. So therefore, he doesn't have to
But
worry.
if he wouldn't speak it out, then he has to.
Or he specified that it's bachrayis, then he would have to replace it. Sag ich mal, machnes aber da Yidashin, but Papa, others say it was a Papa, what's it Yidashin? The soul can leila, those that go up from Babel to Eretz Yisrael, Udinochas and Lesata, and those that come from Eretz Yisrael down to Babel, you should know, Hi Bar Yisrael, there's up like Hamar Yisrael Chavrei. This Yid that sells to another Yid, a Chamer, V'ka'asi Eivet Kechavim, and a guy comes, the honest lemonade and grabs the chamei from him. Dinu the mefatzele menei. The din is that the meicha has to be mishtadel to help out
To get it back.
the koina to try to get it back, to get the chamei back from the guy.
This is a din, it's not an Eisa Toiva, it's a din.
He says dino. It's a din
But even though he didn't say I'm responsible.
because the guy is timing that I'm the real owner. He wouldn't have grabbed it. And this was not said. When does the meicha have to help? Only that he doesn't know that this chamer really belongs to the meicha. So then he
To the guy.
no to the yid. So the yid has to help him because the koina has no way of timing and bezdin or taking him to the goyish courts and saying, I know for a fact that it belonged to the meicha. So then the meicha has to help out to prove that he was the
Oh,
meicha.
in other words, if the Moicha knows that this
If the
Chamor
koina-
belongs to the guy, you mean?
No, the guy. Bas chamer sheina koyin makri shachamer ze no lo bebeis shel hamoicha. The problem is that goy took it away. The buyer thinks maybe it belongs to the guy. I don't have proof that it was born in the meicha's field. You're gonna have to help
So he's
me.
gonna have times to the Moicha.
He's gonna have time. You need to help
You want me
me.
to go fight with the guy? I'm not gonna go fight with
No,
the
but the
guy.
meicha has to go to the goyish court and prove that it was his originally and get it back. The guy's gonna listen.
Because the guy says it's his.
Yeah, or not the Gosh, even the Yiddish court, they would listen. But if we come to the court, the guy would listen. So he says over here, Make shehi bas chameirei loy. But avo make ba shehi bas chameirei loy. But if the buyer himself knows for a fact that he can talk on his own behalf, that I saw this donkey that I bought, I saw it giving birth in the Meicha's field, and I bought it right after. Then he can fight for on his own. He doesn't need the meicha to come and help him
But if the Moicha does want to help him, so what
for 100%. But we're talking about, now there's no din for the meicha to help.
Oh, it doesn't have.
It doesn't-
Before
right.
It's a din. It's a
Yeah,
din.
it's a din. He has to help him because he knows.
Before it was a deal, now you don't have to.
Because
Right.
it's a guy. Because it's a guy. Is that the din?
No, because the guy's gonna listen, and he doesn't. The koina knows nothing about
So
it.
why do you have to say it's a guy? It could be anybody, right?
No, a yid is different. If he take another yid, right? A yid, if a yid grabs it from you, he says to Rashbam, it's very good that you brought it up. Rashbam says if a yid would grab it, he doesn't need the becha to help him out. If another yid came to grab it, he comes, he takes him to Bezdin. I'll be Bezdin. Tomen is chappen an ander yid. Was ist die chap? Was ist a chaperei? You have to bring a yid in, that bring a rei. Es kannst du stand chappen. Aber a goy is a goy. Chapt, die chap. But if you bring him to Bezdin and you prove it, he'll listen.
Listen to it better.
He'll listen to that. So the meicha.
Try to ask yourself, right?
Yeah, Sagt die Gemara, and we're talking about only a case where the guy didn't grab side the chamer with the saddle, he only grabbed the chamer. But if he grabbed the chamer with the saddle, then he doesn't have to help him. Because yes, not Goslin, he's a Goslin. We know he's a Goslin. Because if he would have only stole the chamer, because the ukah belongs to the koine, or we know for a fact who it belongs to. So if he only takes the chamer, we know he has a taina. He really feels it's his. So he grabbed the chamer itself. Mem hey Amar Aleph. Amar Aleph, yes. It's like 10 lines from the top. So he says, but he knows for a fact. So in such a case, he knows for a fact that the ukah belongs to the yid, that he's still grabbing it. So there's nothing to deal with. It's a regular gazlan. Then Nishkin Hamza a gazlan, a regular gazlan. He came and he stole it. He won't listen. When you're dealing with a gazlan, if he would have stolen only the chamer, and he leaves the yid's saddle back. No, we're talking about he really thinks it's his, but if they prove it,
maybe it was a cheap saddle.
Okay, we're talking about a regular. Even there's no such a thing. A saddle is a saddle. Ameima says, even if he didn't fulfill any of these tanoim, the tanoim that the first tanai that the koine didn't know that it belonged, that it gave birth in the meiches field, and he didn't, and he only stole the chamer without the saddle. Nevertheless, he doesn't have to help him. So loy. Even if he had all these naim, the Meicha doesn't have to help. I mean, with a guy. Because you're dealing with a guy. My timer, what's the reason? Made the Yada, because the Kaina knows the Stam of the Gechavim Anasu. Stam of the Gechavim is a Gazlan. He's choshed to be a Gazlan. She never, like it says in the Pasuk, Asher Piem, the mouths of Goyim, the Bashav speak. Says false, yeah, but you mean Shaka. So it's all false and Gazlanim, so then Shtavas mit Vamitzerad. Ein Kameicha. Yeah. Ubi Kameicha. Sagt die Gemara Uman, we learned the Mishnah Ein Le Chazaka. Uman doesn't have a Chazaka. Why? So we said in the Mishnah, because when a Uman has, usually we say, Kol Ma Shetachas Yodi Shalodam, Shalayu. Whatever a person has, it belongs to him. Yeah, that's the Chazaka, it's his. But if it's something that he's a uman tray, and so everybody gives him suits to tailor, he can't say all of a sudden one day he wakes up, this suit is mine, I bought it. Rabbi Rada is giving out the kapotas to tailor, to Boogie, and then what happens? Boogie says, I bought it. Could you imagine? Doesn't work that way. He's a tailor, and that's all he does. I mean, that's why we don't believe that he bought it, because that's not his job. We're talking about... No, Chazaki means Kol Ma Shetachas Yodei Shalodam Shaloihu. Amar Rabbi said, Lo Shanu. This din in the Mishnah was said, Elo Shemasa Le'Beidim. Only if the original Bailam gave this chayfetz to this tailor, let's say, in front of Eidim. And Rabbi holds, we're going to see in the future, that somebody who gives in front of Eidim, you have to give it back in front of Eidim. You can't say, I gave it back. It has to be done in front of Eidim.
Because you're going to give it to guys that never got it.
Yeah, and he could say, I gave it back to you.
Sign off that you took it.
All right, but if he gave it in front of Eidim, he knew he has to give it back in front of Eidim. There's no way out. But what's if this person, the original owner, gave it without Eidim? So now we're going to say then that he could keep it. Why? He could say to the Bailam HaRishonim,
You have no soup like me.
No suit, no, it's my suit. And he says, even if you see that suit, the Uman could say that I did the tailoring for the suit, I gave it back to you, but you sold it to somebody else, and I bought it from that guy. So he could say La'adam. It's also, that's what the Rashbam says. So he says, even when he says, that to begin with, when you gave me this chayfetz, you gave me almanast, to fix this chayfetz. But lekuchi biyadi, he says, but you sold it to me afterwards.
Oh, you sold it.
Even though I
Yeah.
don't normally buy things.
No, here I did. But so he says there's a difference between kalim. So I just told you about that. Even if we see the thing by him, it's called lahadam because we could say he fixed it for him, gave it back, sold it to somebody else, and he said he bought it for somebody else. Now he's saying the Rashbam kalim, if you find by a neighbor, so we say it's normal for the kalim that it should be by a neighbor. A uman, right? A uman could say, listen, you don't come to me. There are many tradesmen that are tailors. So he said, you're not my customer. I'm a tailor, but you show me. I never did any work for you. So this he could say, L'kuchi biyadi. Even though he's telling you, I gave it to you for work, he could say L'kuchi biyadi. It's not the same as kalim, which we say everybody agrees. If kalim is found by your neighbor, he could say it's my kalim. It's my kalim. Everybody knows it was his kalim before. And the Shchenim can't say I bought it because between Shchenim, they give it, they give it out to borrow and to rent if it's a tool shop or whatever.
So what do we say? We built a container.
But the Uman container the kuch biyadi, and he'll be believed because the Uman says there are many Umanim, there are many tailors. I'm not you're not my customer, and therefore it's possible that he bought it. Sagt die Gemara, Abaye asked for Rabbi, if so, afilu be'edim, even if he gave it in front of Eidim, Nabi, we should believe him when we don't see the suit by him, right? You don't see it. We should believe him even though he gave it in front of Eidim. He could say, I returned it to you. You mean Edis to see that he was given back? He was soon going to say that. I told you what the Rabbi holds in the future. We don't know that yet. When he says in this place that we should believe him because he could have said, "I returned it to you," and it's not here. So and it's not here. Yeah, I returned it, and now nobody has proof that he has it, or that's what he could have said. But now he's saying, I really have it. Even though you don't see it, I really have it, but I bought it. But believe him because he could have said, he had a migosh, much darker taina. He said, I took it, but I gave it back to you. It doesn't look, so that's a hard taina. He's already been made a little bit, I have it, and he shows he has it, so but if he could have said, you never saw it, I could have said, I returned it to you and I would have got away with it. Rabba says, no, he still doesn't have the migo. He couldn't have said, I returned it. Mi sabris, hamafkid, he says, I hold that if he lends out in front of Eidim, or he gives it out, he gives the suit to be fixed to the tailor in front of Eidim, he cannot taino all of a sudden, I gave it back. The only way he can give it back is if it's in front of Eidim. And if he cannot produce Eidim, he has to give it back.
What is that?
Hamafkid eitz chaver be'edim. Einoi tzorich lahazer loi be'edim? Question mark. Question mark. He does not have to return him. Rabbi says, lo yisal kadaitach, it shouldn't enter your mind. Ala hamafkid eitz chaver be'edim, tzorich lahazer be'edim. He definitely has to return it in front of Eidim. Huh? Right, because I said at the beginning that's what he holds in the future. Here he says, but what's if he says, look, I gave it back in front of the Eidim, but the Eidim went to Medina Sayyam. In such a case, he would be believed. So she go to the Eidim, you're leaving town, give me a note. Okay, but if they left, he could say they left town. But that's not the case over here. Okay. So, in fact, if he saw the person, now we're going to ask on Rabbah. Rabbah says that you have to pay back with Eidim, and that's the only, and since you have to pay back with Eidim, he doesn't have the migo that he could have said he paid it back. So, in fact, and the chilik will be even by loira, it wouldn't make a difference ra or loira. But according to Rabbi, if there were no Eidim, he would have a migo whether we see the object in the tailor's hand or not. How? Because if we see the object in the tailor's hands, he could have said that I bought it from somebody else. I thought he gave it back. I fixed it. I gave it back to you. You sold it to somebody else. I bought it from somebody else. And if loida, for sure he has a migo. He can say, I returned it. I don't have it. So believe it. I bought it. So Abai asked the kasha. It says Ra'ah. If a person saw Avde biyad uman, his servant in the hand of a teacher that teaches umanis. So v'talisa biyad koives, or his cloak in the launderer's hands. He says, what is it doing by you? Now here by Eved we're talking about chazaka. If you remember, because Eved could walk. And he can walk into your shul, so it's not a raya that kol masha tachs yoda shalayu. If something can walk in like animals, so in Goyda days we said before, they walk in, so then just by being in your shul is not a raya that belongs to you. So the only way you can have a chazaka by tzoyin or by Eved is 3 years chazaka. So we're talking about 3 years. The same thing. He can walk in himself. So he says, what is it doing by you? Huh? Nicht alle halten das Hatzadin bekaka. Lois, so very good. Lois, so the woman said, Atam echarteli. He says, what are you talking about? You sold it to me. Atam esateli matana. You gave it to me as a matana.
What, the Eved?
The Evet and the talis. Loi klum. That taina means zero. Because the chazaka of the 3 years that you had the Eved is not a raya that you bought it. Because Uman, he's teaching, he gave him to teach him a trade.
An apprentice.
That's called an apprentice, somebody who teaches somebody a trade. Yeah, he says, I gave my Eved to a person who's an apprentice by saying I had this for so many years, is that it's mine? No. Normally, apprentice has avodim from years till they teach them all these trades.
The Eved is an apprentice, not
the Eved is the one that's learning the trade.
Yeah.
So the Eved is an apprentice. I want to talk about the balabas, the one, the teacher, the uman cannot I have a raya that I bought it from you because I have it 3 years. Your 3 years that you had it was to teach. This
because the course takes 4 years.
4 years, 5 years, yeah.
Like a worker.
Yes. So the Gemara, but if he said befonai amarta loy, lemoicha velitin loy, but if he says, listen, you said in front of that person, you said that you're giving me the Eved as a matana, lamashal. I gave you the Eved, and I said in front of Rabbi Greisman that I'm giving it to you as a matana. That's what you're tining. You're tining in front of me. I'm the owner of the Eved. In front of me, he's saying in front of him. I said I'm giving it to you as a matana. So it says in such a case, then it's a good sale. It's a good raya. He says, I said that I'm giving it to him as a matana in front of you.
Not you.
Maishna Reisha, Maishna Sefer. What's the difference between the Reisha and the Sefer? Why in the Reisha, when he says he directly bought it, means nothing, but when he says Befanai, it helps. Says the Gemara, Amarabba Sefer, the Yoitze Metachas Yidei Achad. It means the Sefer is talking about that, not that the Uman is getting it. It's talking about that. How did the Uman get it? The Uman didn't says that he got. I'm sorry. It's not talking about the Uman is getting the Eved. It's talking about an outsider is getting the Eved, and the outsider is saying. So the owner comes to the outsider. He says, "What is it doing by you?" So the Uman says, I'm sorry. The outsider says that you told the Uman in front of me to give it to him. You understood? So that's the case. So let me say it inside. Say for Yoitz Metachas Yideyacha. It's that really the Eved is now in a out. It's not. It's in the outsider's hand. V'kam alei acher b'fonei amarta loi, and the acher, the outsider, is saying in front of me, the uman, you said to the uman, lemeiche v'litnem matana. The outsider is saying that you, in front of me, you said to the uman to give it to me.
What does it mean? L'moichai ulu?
Either one, either to sell it or to give it as a matana.
How could the woman give it away as a matana? It's not his.
It's the owner said to the uman. He says, "You can give it away. You don't have to give it back to me. You can give it to that guy as a matana."
Like a present.
And as a present, yeah. Why is he going to leave? Because because the outsider could have said, "No, something. I bought it directly from you."
Not from the woman.
Huh?
Not the woman.
Not from the woman. I bought it directly from the original owner. He could have said.
Oh, I don't have to get the woman.
I had to
involved.
leave the woman out, right? And now that he says that you told the Uman in front of the Uman that and you told him he should give it to me, his words are fulfilled. And we believe.
So what happened? Who got the money?
What do you mean? Who gets
He
it?
said he told me you can sell it.
Oh, so he gives the money for it.
Oh, he gives back.
Oh, give him money. Yeah, why not? Okay.
Because he really maybe wants to keep it himself.
Yeah, no, he wants it back. He wants the suit, or he wants the whatever it is, or the kameir.
So maybe the woman is lying. What did we say
If
here?
the outsider is saying, the outsider is believed to say that the owner told the uman to give it to me as a matana in front of me. He said it in front of me. He's going to be believed. Why? Because the outsider could have said, leave the woman out. I bought it directly from the original guy. Okay, exactly. But in the Reisha, what we learn, Ra. He saw the chayfetz in the woman's hands. So how's it talking about when it says Ra? If it's talking about there are Eidim, that's when the original Baidim gave it over to the Uman. So Lamalida, what do I need? That he sees it now. He doesn't have to see it. If he gave it in front of Eidim, so now I see Eidim. Either you bring Eidim that you gave it back, and if you can't, I'm sorry, not see Eidim. Let the owner bring proof that he gave it in front of Eidim, and Benishkel and take back his item because this guy never gave it back in front of Eidim. I don't care if
You have to give back with Adam.
Yeah, you have to give back with Adam, and you don't have Adam for that. All I have to do is bring proof that I gave it in front of Adam, and you don't have Adam. I can take it back. Elalav says the Gemara only. Now, what are you going to say? The lake Adam, that there are no Adam. Says the Gemara, if there are no Adam, chira miu tafis lei. Nevertheless, if we see the chayfetz now in the hand of the Uman, the taina of the Uman is not accepted, and the original Bailam are allowed to grab it back. So this is a stira. You're saying the original Bailam can grab it back. When there's no Eidim, right? The Uman Ketaina that he bought the Chayfetz from the Bailam, he said if there's no Eidim, he has a Migo, according to Rabbah. Right?
Well, he could grab it back.
So, no, and
Now we say he could grab it back.
oh, yeah, in the Reisha we said, if he says there's lo yom haklum, he has to give it back. And according to this, if there was no Eidim, he should have a migo, and he should be able to, the Uman should be able to keep it. And he should not have to give it back. Says the Gemara, loy lamdi k'Eidim. Ma'ames, there are Eidim that had seen the original owner give the whatever it is to the Uman, the bag of the Eved to the Uman. V'hu derah. And we see the chayfetz there. So in his house, we see he has it. So in such a case, Rabbah holds if you have both, there was Eidim, and you see it, so then you can take it back. Correct. If there's Eidim that saw it, give it over, and it's still there, you can take it back because now there's no meal.
It's like you buy a chuppah, you give a watch the person
Yeah.
the
In
earrings.
2 ways, yeah. Abaya fact, Abayis, Va'at, Hu Da'amid. Oh, Va'at, Hu Da'amid. But you, Rabba, had said early on, Hamafkid, Eitz Chaveda Be'edim, Tzarech Lepeida Be'edim. So how could you say, why do you need that, if there's no Edim, again, how could you say, if there was Edim originally, and they see it, then he can take it back. Okay, if there's Edim, and you could say Lecheda, if there's Edim, he has to pay it back with Edim. Why do you have to say Behuda? Why do you have to say that he had seen it? That he had seen it? Abalei says,
Even if he didn't see it, he'd have to return it.
he would have to return it because Tzarech Lepeida Be'edim. Yeah. What you're saying? If he didn't see it, then he has a migul. He doesn't, because he had Tzarech Lepeida Be'edim. Amalei. So Rabbi answered back to Abaye, how did be? I would retract it, and one who gives it over to Edim does not have to give it back in front of Edim. Maser Rabba l'siyun l'Rabba Rabba the effect of Shaila on Abaye from this brayse. That is a lechera l'shitas Rabba hanoisen tali say. The Uman is one who gives his talis to Uman. Uman name Stein Katzatzeli. The Uman says that you made up that you're going to pay me $2. And the other one says that I only made up that I'm going to pay you $1. Kolzman shatalz b'yad Uman. As long as the talis is in the hand of the Uman, ala balabais laviraya, the balabais has to bring a raya that he made up, that it's $1. Like we said, when you remember with the goats that ate up all the dried kernels, so he could demand you pay me all of it, or till the amount that what the goat is worth. Or I take the goat. Here also he says, either you give me my $2 or I keep the begging.
So the storekeepers never believe?
Okay, we're talking about the storekeeper is believed. He's holding on. If he's holding on to the begging, he can collect up to the value of the begging. Yeah, but what's he if he already gave it back to the Balabayas? Bizmanoi, if it's in the time, Nishba v'noitzel. Here, if it's in its time, then we allow the Uman to swear and collect. Even though normally who swears? The person who's being collected from, to pat himself from collecting. But here he swears and collects because here it's different. If you remember, Balabayas doesn't know who he paid. So the Shema gets to swear to collect and swear that he didn't get paid and get paid. But if this man passed, he says, then once this man passed, then he has to bring proof that how much it is, right? That he made up one. That's it. I'm sorry, no, that it was he made up two. That he has to bring proof that if he wants to take two, because it's lachas money. Biz money he can collect. But that is one, right? How is it talking about Eidim? No, the one that wants to collect two has to bring proof that it was two. He's a moitzi. The one that's moitzi wants to take out two. How is it talking about Eidim? If there are Eidim, let's say Eidim by comment. Let Eidim say. Right, so but it's lachas money. He has to bring proof. Says he Nishba Uman. Not anymore. Not lachas money. Only besigs money. Nishba Uman and collects. Lachas money. If the woman wants to take out two, he's not mitzvah mechavere. Olavaraya, yeah. There's no more shvur lachas money. Right. Hey, Chidami, how's it talking about Eidim? If there's Eidim, let's say Eidim, my comment. Let Eidim say what the deal was. Alalav the lake Eidim. Oh, don't you have to say there were no Eidim? Ukitani. If there were no Eidim, we said Uma Mehemen. Bismani, the woman is believed. Migudi Bayamalei Lekuchi Biyadi, because he could have said in the Reisha that he could have said, I bought it. Mehemen Namani Agre. So then he is believed also for the rent on the price. So what do we see from here? That if it was below Eidim, he's believed to say that he bought it from the Bailan, right? Even if the Chayfetz is there, it's there, and he cannot taina that he returned it. he cannot turn him. Yeah, and so according to Rabba, that it comes out like Rabba. If there's Eidim, and there's also only if there's Ra, but if there's Eidim and Ra, then he has to return it. And it contradicts Abaya because Abaya holds a Uman doesn't have a chazak in any case if the chayfetz is, if you see it by the person, then he doesn't have a migul. It says you're gonna like Leilam, they're like hey, really there's no Eidim. But who the Leida, and it's talking about, and it wasn't, and we don't see it there. That's why he has a migul, and that's why he's able to collect the $2, and it follows Abaya.